I'm Jacqueline DePaul. I've had a successful career as an IT consultant in engineering. And at 38, I decided to try something new. I decided to try fashion modeling. So this was a little bit of a weird moment in my life in that I thought, you know, I was going along in my career. I did ballroom classes at night and salsa classes, and I was enjoying my life. I got injured and wasn't able to dance anymore, and I lost that piece of myself, that piece of expression that I really needed to fill my life. I think we're all very multifaceted, so my engineering is very stimulating, but I needed those other pieces, that creativity, and I lost that. So I got very depressed. And that's when you're 22 is okay, because you're 22 and the options are endless. But at 38, what was I gonna start?
So, the other thing that happens when the designer chooses me to have like an open stomach is I always worry, like, isn't my skin really wrinkly? Sometimes I can't figure out why they can't see the imperfections that I see, that I'm like, why would they want me in this outfit? But I'm not gonna complain because it's amazing.
My biggest fear when I first decided to model was that I was too old and someone was gonna discover how old I was. I found a little ad and I volunteered at a community school that had a photography class for beginners. And I found one picture that looked like a catalog picture and one picture that looked like a headshot. So I said, oh, you can whiten your teeth and you can get a haircut and you can lose weight and you might want to learn how to pose, and then off I went. On to the next thing. The internet allows you to network. They have modeling networking sites, and I convinced people to take pictures of me on the weekends. I told my closest friends and my family at a certain point, but I didn't tell anybody else that I was doing it. Nobody knew. I didn't want anybody's opinions about how this was just a dumb idea. I chose to start modeling even though it was too late. Or I chose to enter the Wilhemina Contest even though I was afraid of losing and getting rejected.
Today we have the 10 finalists of the Wilhemina 40+ Model Search presented by Miracle Suit. We've had thousands and thousands of women enter this contest.
Wilhemina Models and Miracle Suit teamed up to find the ultimate 40+ model.
The Wilhemina Model Agency is conducting a model search for women over 40.
The only requirement, you have to be a woman and over 40.
I'm scared out of my mind. But I learned that taking that step into the darkness where it's easier just to say, okay, that's too scary, I'm not gonna do it, that's where the magic happens. And that's what I've learned to do.
I'm Meg Baker for Fox 411, and we're here at Macy's in New York City for the Wilhemina 40+ Model Search.
All right, the grand prize winner tonight is, are you ready? Jacqueline DePaul.
Wilhemina is the top agency in the world, and to be on their board, that is the top that I could go. So I'm very, very proud.
The thing that made Jacqueline stand out from everyone else is that she has got an energy and a spirit about her that just, when she walks in the room, it lights up. You can't not see her.
So I won the contest, signed the contract quickly, and then immediately the agents were like, cool, we have another model to work with. So they sent me out on a direct, what they call a direct book for a catalog in Florida, so you don't have to audition for it. They looked at my stuff and they're like, okay, we like her. So I arrive at the catalog with 2 other models and they get me all fixed up. So I stood there like this. I'm in my outfit, they're like waiting for me to do something, and I'm just like standing there looking stressed out. And you see them start hovering around each other. They're all having a conference for like 15 minutes. I'm like asking the lighting guy, what are they doing? He goes, I don't know. They sent me back to the wardrobe area. They said, go fix your hair, it's blocking your face. And I'm all excited still. And the creative director is literally crossing my name off next to the line items of the outfits. And I was so clueless. I didn't even know what that meant. Like, I was literally getting fired on the spot because I couldn't model. So they kept me for 3 outfits, and the photographer would be there, and the creative director was behind her. Like, she looked like she was dancing. She's like trying to coach me through. I'm like, what is she doing back there? Like, I had no idea what I was doing. So complete failure. They called the agency and said, we never want to see this girl again. She has no idea what she's doing. And they didn't use any of my shots in the catalog. And so they paid for a model for the entire day, got nothing, and got no pictures of those clothes. And so the client was pissed. And then the agency was freaked out, like, we can't send you on anything else, like, you don't know how to model. And I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? Literally the biggest failure that I could have had. Because now the agency they had to keep me because I was the contest winner, but they didn't want to send me on anything. They were scared. I had just had the biggest failure, which is getting fired from that catalog job. I had to make a decision at that point. Was I going to just give up and quit? Or was I going to figure out what to do to fix the problem? And I decided I wasn't going to give up on my dream. I was just going to learn to model, and I was going to fix it. So I went and took lessons in runway, in photography, in posing. I got new agents, and then my career really got going, and I began to work. I slowly and gradually pushed it forwards with my determination, started a blog, did my own photo shoots, got hired by clients, and now I'm a working model. I was talking to my designer friend, her name is Nathanielle, and she was telling me about her dream. Her dream as a designer, she wanted to show in Paris Fashion Week. She had never done it. And I encouraged her. I'm like, great, you should do it. And she's like, that's it, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna show my line in Paris Fashion Week next year. And I'm like, okay, good. And she said, and you should come too and be one of my models. And I said, oh, okay. But I thought she was kidding. Like, I was 48 years old. You're not gonna take a 48-year-old to Paris Fashion Week to show your line. She kept pestering me. Like, I couldn't believe it. She's like, well, do you have your plane booked? I'm like, what are you talking about? So I literally said to myself again, this is your opportunity. You are being invited to walk in Paris Fashion Week and to go to an audition where there are other designers. You're not gonna not go because you're gonna look back at this and regret it for the rest of your life. So I was like, I have to go. I booked a ticket knowing that I would walk for her, but not knowing if anyone else would pick me. And so I flew to Paris. I auditioned and I got selected by 2 other designers. And then the next day, I'm walking in Paris Fashion Week, and it's called Place Vendôme. It's like a huge section of Paris. And it was like the biggest dream come true ever. When I started modeling, there was no older models, like it wasn't cool. But now, 10 years later, it's kind of cool to have older models on the runway. It's a new developing thing, so I'm kind of taking advantage of it. So these designers, they don't mind. I've been told I have a very regal walk and very sophisticated and very sort of aristocratic. And it works well with certain garments, like long flowy garments, and I'm gonna go back. The next show in September is gonna be in the Eiffel Tower. I'm going to walk in the Eiffel Tower, period. So I'm going back. But it's just, you know, I again thought this is impossible, it's too late, you can't go. And somehow the people that I met in my journey who respected me and admired me and what I was doing sort of opened the door for me, and I had a choice whether to go through or not. But I went and tried, and I achieved something which now I'm like, wow, this is the second biggest modeling achievement of my life. First one was the Wilhemina Contest, and the second is walking in Paris Fashion Week. I mean, it's only up from here. And 10 years later, I've done something that's almost impossible, you know, at my age. I was like, wow, this is a good testament to just keep driving your vision forwards. It was my vision to be a model at my age. I'm not saying everyone should model, but everyone has something that they see that only they can see. Because if you tell anybody else, they're gonna go, well, that's really weird. But everyone has something that they can see in their mind that they want to sort of give birth to. Go ahead, try. And never mind everybody's opinions. Like, see what comes of it. I think the biggest thing I didn't understand when I was 38 is that we don't really run out of time. We just run out of imagination and creativity. Because I had to find my way around the obstacles. You know, whether it was lying about my age or winning a contest instead of getting an agent the regular way or whatever. You can find your way if you have your vision and you want to create it. And that's for anything like business or whatever. I learned that I can find my way, just have to be creative. But sitting there and going, that'll never work, doesn't get me anywhere and doesn't bring me anything. So I would rather go out and completely fail and then give up than to not give it a go. What I learned from my journey is that taking the scary steps is what opens the possibility. That has brought me this sort of beautiful, rich life that I have with my tech career and my modeling career, and then the boyfriend showed up, which was also a scary step. I'm very thankful for all that. I needed additional parts of me fulfilled.